Q4 is where I make most of my money inside Amazon KDP. So in this video, I'm going to be running you through my plan for Q4 this year, what my goals are, how much I want to invest in terms of ads each month, and just overall some of the mistakes I've made so far and just my general plan in order to be able to succeed and make the money that I want to make. Now, in terms of 2023, this is what it looked like for me. And so my October was around 6K, as you can see here. November was just under 14K, and December was 34.5K. So, as you can see here, guys, I've basically, in terms of the maths I'm doing this year, I'm looking at the data from last year and kind of making decisions accordingly. Although last year I didn't invest as much money as I wanted to because I just simply didn't have enough in the bank at the time. Yeah, as you can see, 6K to, October to November is almost double. Well, it is double more. And then November to December is like a 2.5x. So something to keep in mind when planning my goals. Now, my goals for 2024 is October, I want to be making 9K, November, 20K, and December, 55K. This year, if I don't make 50K in December, I'm going to be pissed. And so that's kind of my main goal and the main thing I've had in my head all along. Now, in terms of the ad spend, you want to be looking at around, like a third of your royalties being in ad spend. That's probably a good little range. Obviously, doesn't have to be exact, but it's a good range to aim for. And here, this is more because I've got a lot of books to launch, so I'm prepared to invest a bit more during October. Just because I'm a little late on a couple things, I will go through that in a sec. But yeah, as you can see here, this is where it's looking at in terms of what I want to be spending. Now, currently, I've recently just launched 4 books, and I have another 6 to launch. And ideally, this is the exact position I try not to be in. I want to have all this stuff ready by minimum like mid-October, and that's not going to be the case this year. I found like 2 good keywords that I really wanted to publish in, and kind of just took a risk. And so we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. But yeah, ideally wouldn't want to have been in this position, but I am, so I'm just going to deal with it and do my best. Now, ideally, I just committed to too many books, and for next year, I've started to realize that I'm only going to publish 1 per month to give it a solid launch, a solid ad strategy. I just think that's the best way to go about it. And then ideally, no launches after October 15. Q4 is, as I said, it's like it makes up almost half my income. So it's a pretty important time of the year, and I want to have everything very smooth, very planned out, and just, not messy. But it is what it is. Now, all of these books I'm publishing are medium content. As you know, it's the main thing I publish in. And one of the medium content books is Christmas themed. The rest are evergreen, so they do generally well during the year. Obviously, your medium content books, though, as I've gone through before, are usually books that go nuts during Q4. So, best of both worlds, which I like about them. Now, in terms of your ads, this is going to be the most important thing, the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on this Q4. As you know, I have most of it outsourced. However, with the ads, I don't have it all outsourced yet. So, basically I'm going to be a busy man, especially come mid-November to December, and I'm okay with that. It is what it is. The more time I put into it and get it right, the more I'm going to make. But you want to plan these ads accordingly and really plan out and calculate how much you want to spend. The last thing you want is running out of funds, for example, during December 10th to December 21. That's when your ad spend is going to be at its highest. And, don't go too crazy in October and November if you've got no money left over in December. The problem with this business is the fact that we don't get paid till 2 months later. So, you want to do the maths on and actually generally work out, okay, October I want to spend this, November I want to spend this. Am I going to have enough money in December? Really ask yourself that question. Then come the 22nd of December, I'm turning off all my ads. The people that you're competing with, after that, their bids are way too high and it's just overpriced. There's no point running these ads anymore. Turn them off and then turn them back on in January and optimize them from there. The next thing I'll say, guys, is I've already done a video on my ad strategy for Q4, and that's exactly what I'm going to follow for this 2024. year. If you want to go and check that out, feel free to do so. It's on the channel. Now, with the prices of my books, what I'm going to be doing is maintaining low price until about the 15th of November, and then I'm going to jump them all up on the 15th. That's when the sales really start to jump up, the 15th to 20th of November. And then the beginning of December, if it makes sense, I'll increase the price again on some of my books. This really just depends on how well it's doing, where I'm at with the competition. You kind of just need to use common sense here, guys. Look at your competition. Does it make sense? Is your book like 10 times better, and the customer can clearly see that as soon as they look at it? Does it make sense for you to be a higher price book? Things like that. Now, in terms of the prices that I'm usually ranging between is I'll never go lower than $9.99. Very rarely I'll go lower than that. It's just not worth it. And then I'll jump it to $11.99 come the 15th of November. Then with my better selling books, I will consider going higher towards the beginning of December, as I said. And very minimal books, we'll see what happens. But if something's going really, really well, it's got bestseller tag, things like that, then I will consider $14.99. But these are kind of the ranges I'll work between, mainly the $9.99 to $11.99. Another thing I'll say is I do not publish books in keywords that have prices below this regularly. There's just no point. Royalties are too low. You may as well put your effort and your ads and your investment into something else and a better keyword. It's just a waste of time. You're getting peanut royalties, and it's just not worth it, in my opinion. So keep that in mind. Now, in terms of mistakes I made last year, having all books launched by 15th of October. Now, I made this mistake again. This just keeps happening. It's obviously one of those things where you get a bit excited, and you're running like a few launches and things happen, especially with medium content. There's a lot to it, a lot of illustrations, things like that, and the process can take longer than what you actually think, especially on the difficult projects. But it is what it is. I'll try my best next year to really get all these books launched and ready, maybe starting by March and May instead of June, July like I did this year, learning from the mistakes. And then another thing as well is like not having enough money in the bank to invest in ads. This was something that happened to me last year. It's not really my fault. Obviously, I just didn't have the money. But, maybe consider a loan. I mean, maybe from a family friend or, a family member probably is best. An extra bit of money is going to go a long way during this period. Obviously, you can pay them back when it comes February, whatever it is. It's not the worst option, in my opinion. The next thing I'll say is, trying too much to win with every book. And this is what I did last year. I was trying to run ads for every single book, which is what you should do. But, if it's not working out by the end of November, beginning of December, and, your ACOS is super high, and just getting no traction on this book, just forget it. You want to basically just come December 1st, just only focus on the shit that's working. Only, run ads and go really hard on what's working. Follow 80-20 rule. It's just going to be the most important thing that you do when it comes to this business. There's no point trying to make an extra couple $100 or $300 on these books that are okay. Really go hard on the ones that are going insane, because I've seen guys making absolute stupid amounts from just 1-2 books in Q4. I'm talking 50K, 80K from one book. My best book last year did 6K, I think, which is obviously pretty good as well. But yeah, focus on what works is the main thing, and that's what I'm going to be doing this year. Then increasing bids in October was too early for me last year in terms of my ads. I won't be increasing bids until 15th of November. I think that's perfectly okay. That's when the traction really starts to pick up. So yeah, I would run things slightly normally during October. Obviously, invest a little bit more in ads, but I think I went a little bit too hard last year. Now, overall, guys, one thing you need to realize is not everything's going to work exactly the way you want it to. I'm always making mistakes, and there's always things where I wish I didn't do, but it is what it is at the end of the day, and you just got to focus on what works, 80-20 rule, and prepare the best you can. Do what I said in your planning, especially with the ads. actually calculate how much you want to spend so you aren't left with minimal amount of money to invest during the big peak of the middle of December. And then you know, the next thing is like, I'm going to make a video every month now for Q4 with basically just an income report of October, November, and December, things I learned, you know, my plan going forward and things like that, just to help you guys out. So you'll be able to check, you know, what I'm doing and how I'm going with everything, and ask me any questions you want as well. But yeah, guys, this is overall my plan for Q4. Kind of just rundown of, you know, what I'm going to do and how I'm going to go about it roughly. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Happy to help in the comments. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.